This is Heinrich Meyer, Station Chief, Berlin. Office of Requiem. Weaver, we have a developing situation over here. Reliable human places Dr. Alexandra Valentina of KGB Spetsnaz Omega Group here in West Berlin. She was observed scouting several locations in the city. Objective unknown. This is very distressing, to say the least. Dr. Valentina is directly involved with Omega's interdimensional research. If she is here expecting or intending for something to happen... Weaver, we have been very fortunate so far that most of Omega's operations have been in remote, rural areas. Berlin, on the other hand, is the focal point of the Cold War. The world is always watching us. If they were to launch an op here, I have a team trying to intercept her communications. I will alert you should they succeed.
The Aetherium Harvesting Unit. To the layman, it's not terribly impressive, just a metal box with a canister in it, quietly sitting there, sucking in airborne Aetherium particles. But there is a reason my science teams risk their lives to place these units across the zone. With Aetherium concentrations greater in the Ural Mountains than anywhere else on Earth, these harvesting units are absolutely vital in our race against the Soviets to harness the power of the Dark Ether. Once filled, each canister must be collected for rocket transport to international waters. We considered other modes of travel, but rockets really are the quickest, cleanest way to get the samples out of the outbreak zone. Which is not to say retrieving these canisters is easy. They are heavy, cumbersome things, and once disengaged from the harvesting unit, there is a limited amount of time to get them to the rocket before the samples degrade. They also draw hostiles like flies to honey. I have lost more than a few people on collection duty. I have therefore requested that Field Op Strike teams support all future canister retrieval efforts.
This is Dr. Elizabeth Gray, with a few thoughts on the new specimen analyzer stations. We're using them to run field tests on undead anatomy, specifically genetic mutations and structural changes in the cerebral cortex. It's a rather grisly affair, severing some poor infected bloke's head and putting it in a jar for a proper soft tissue mapping and DNA sequencing. But if we can identify the root stimuli and catalysts for all these physical transformations, we'll be one step closer to preventing them. Unfortunately, those heads aren't quite deceased, and they seem to call out to the other infected in the area. I say this because the creatures always come running whenever we perform a scan. I'm not quite sure if they're trying to rescue their fellow deadhead, or if it's more like sharks sensing an injured fish, but I'm working on a way to insulate the unit so that the sample's distress won't draw unwanted attention. Until then, my unnatural sciences teams may require some rather robust protection to operate the Dark Ether specimen analyzer.
Our strike team has taken down a lot of different hostiles, some bigger and badder than others. Every encounter is a risk to life and limb, but as far as my containment and security division is concerned, we learn the most from their engagements with apex-level threats. The Dark Ether's high-value targets, for lack of a better term. So we've come up with a way to guarantee they'll be tangling with an HVT. It's an energy cannon platform, parked in a geosynchronous orbit over the Ural Mountains. When an uplink station is activated, the satellite fires a dimensional disruptor beam that literally pulls an HVT out of the Dark Ether into the AO. Strauss gave me a bit of grief when I suggested we call them HVTs. He still sees this enemy as a disorganized mob, but I see a hierarchy at work, and the top dogs are calling the shots. Of course, I may be reading too much into it, But even if these Apex threats are as brain dead as their foot soldiers, the more of them we kill, the better.
Energy Research voice memo to Requiem Strike Team from Dr. Oscar Strauss. Subject: the proper care and feeding of essence conversion modules. First, the modules are currently in orbit. You must call them down with the launch control station we've already placed in the outbreak zone. Trust me, it's simple enough that even someone like you can use it. Once they land, the modules will absorb the essence of any infected you kill nearby. All you have to do is, well, what you do best. When they have reached full charge, that is when things get interesting. The unit's internal lab exposes the essence to refined Ethereum crystals. This establishes a connection with the objects in the dark ether dimension through a process called quantum entanglement. In layman's terms, the essence you collect is transformed into a dark ether object. It's our way of examining the contents of our parallel reality without requiring you to go there. You're welcome. Now get to work.
The recon rover. Ugh, this is a tough one for me. I mean, yes, I recognize the absolute need to send monkeys into the dark ether. It's the only way to record that dimension's effects on the physiology, and it's certainly a lot less risky than sending in my people, but I really do need to stop naming those monkeys. Anyhow, here's how it works. We leave a dark ether recon rover parked in an area where we've recorded instability in the dimensional membrane. Our strike team activates the rover, and then do their best to keep the nasties off until it can successfully enter a rift and start sending back telemetry. The data we're getting is remarkable. I'm starting to understand how Ethereum transmutes living organisms on a cellular level. We've even recorded the specific moment when the subject starts metabolizing Ethereum to continue functioning post-mortem. It's just difficult reviewing the data. They scream once they cross over. A lot. And then they go quiet. And then they start to laugh.
We've identified certain Ethereum crystal structures in the outbreak zone that the lab coats are calling power nodes. They're the biggest crystals out there, almost beautiful in their own way. But if what the experts are telling me is true, they are scary as hell. My people have determined these power nodes are here to fundamentally alter the environment. It's a process they call terraforming. Basically, they're slowly transforming the air and ground around them to make it more hospitable to the creatures crossing over from the dark ether. They do this by continually releasing Ethereum in its gaseous form. And we know that the only thing keeping those monsters inside the outbreak zones is their proximity to an Ethereum source. They wander too far away, and they drop dead. We've recorded all this on our instruments, but you don't need any equipment to know how powerful one of those crystals is. All you have to do is get up close to a power node, and it feels like, I don't know, like the shrooms are kicking in. Yeah, I said it. I saw some shit in Nam. But nothing that messed with your head as bad as this. So I've made it a priority for our strike teams to blow them up whenever they find one. No fucking way we're gonna just let these things turn Earth into their favorite vacation spot.
is Meyer, Berlin Station Chief. Urgent question. Did you get the memorandum I submitted on Saturday? If so, why is there still no response? Forgive me, but I do not think anyone at Langley grasps the seriousness of the situation. Dr. Valentina is here, in Berlin. The city is divided. East and West are nose to nose here. If she does something drastic, the consequences could go global in the worst possible way. Just please advise how best to proceed. Personally, I'd like a Requiem strike team en route here right now, but I leave that decision to you.
Strike team, I want to thank you on behalf of everyone here for what you accomplished in Vietnam. The intel you recovered from Omega Group is already paying off in new technology and weapons. This is especially important as we launch operations in the Ural Mountains. The AO you've entered is richer in Ethereum than anywhere else on the planet. But Omega is already hard at work there. Never forget, we are in a race against time to harness the Dark Ether before they do. The winner of this Ethereum arms race may well be decided by your actions here. So, we can't fuck this up. Weaver out. Just want to be clear on what's expected from you. Every department at Requiem has a stake in this. Energy research, unnatural sciences, security and containment. They all have special equipment in the field that we need you to test. Strauss, Gray, and Carver will give you the details at the appropriate time, and I expect you to follow their instructions to the letter. Remember, these experiments and operations aren't busy work. They're important. They're how we eventually win. Some of you have asked, repeatedly, about Agent Maxis. I get it. You risked your life to save her, then weeks went by with no word on her condition. I get it. Well, I'm finally authorized to let you know she's recovering. At least, physically. She's been under observation in an isolation ward, getting the best care the agency can provide, but she went through things in the Dark Ether that would have broken most people. It's a miracle she survived. She's not infected, she's on the mend, and everything you went through to bring her back, absolutely worth it.
Is this everything? Surely there is more.
I assure you, Dr. Valentina, this is everything.
Research on membrane permutations? What about the particle distortion modules?
Everything you need on targeted dimensional breaching is there.
Otlично. Have it delivered to this address.
You're not taking it with you?
Is there a problem with my order?
No. I just thought...
Thinking is a dangerous thing, is it not, comrade? Have it delivered to the address. Make sure you are not discovered by Peck.
Believe me, he is half of the reason I am doing this.
And the other half?
Why, for the good of the motherland, of course.
Of course. For the motherland.
Kravchenko, 21st of April 1983. 3 weeks since I accepted command of Spetsgruppe Omega. And I'm beginning to wonder if Comrade Andropov was out of his mind when he created this book show. My first order of business was a thorough review of Omega Group activities since their formation in '75. What a fucking joke. The study of psychotronic phenomena. What does that even mean? Biocommunication, bioenergetics, bioinformation. Words invented by paper pushers to make ghost stories sound real. I read hundreds of their bullshit reports and found nothing useful. So, I reassigned the authors to dig biolatrines. But if Andropov was not out of his mind, if he saw some genuine operational value in any of this nonsense, I will give this one more month, and then I will pull the plug. 15th of July, 1983. Comrade Valentina, I am recording this meeting for my records.
Of course, Colonel. I take it you have viewed the Project End Station footage.
Nuta, where did you find this film?
Gathering dust in a restricted portion of Lubyanka's sub-basement records storage. Someone went to great lengths to bury the incident back in 45. But times have changed since then.
Indeed. That cowboy actor and his strategic defense initiative have upset the stalemate between us and the West. I asked for something to tip the scales back in our favor. You think this is it?
There is only one way to find out. Allow me to reactivate the End Station cyclotron. If I can harness their access to another dimension, we can give the motherland a tactical advantage the Americans can only dream of.
And if you cannot harness it?
Then bury the bunker in concrete and declare the place off limits. And maybe leave flowers every year to remember my sacrifice.
I don't care about sacrifice. Only results. I will authorize your mission. But you had better bring back something I can use.
Understood, Colonel. Understood.
Kravchenko, 8th of July, 1984.
And Dr. William Peck, lead research.
Shut up, you little worm. You're lucky to be alive.
Sorry, sir.
Silence. This is not a dialogue. You are here to receive your orders. There is a plane standing by to take you to the Ural Mountains outbreak zone. You will oversee a special operation there involving a particularly rich deposit of Ethereum crystals. My people will brief you once you're airborne.
You won't regret this, sir. And, please let Gorev know I'm off the hook. I'm worried he still wants to kill me.
Gorev will be there with you, shadowing your every step. Because you are not off the hook, Dr. Peck. Do not fail me ever again. Gorev, before you depart for the Urals, I need a word with you.
New instructions, Colonel?
No. It is the same matter that has vexed me ever since Requiem's arrival at End Station. Whoever leaked Omega intelligence to them remains unidentified. If they did not die at Outpost 25, the traitor may still be among us.
I am working on it night and day, sir. My apologies that it has taken this long.
We could have found out the informant's name back in Vietnam. But that idiot American tossed the only person who knew into the dark ether. What kind of genius throws away his trump card?
Peck may be book smart, but he has no common sense, and even less self-control. But I swear to you, Colonel, the informant will be exposed. The only question is if I will be able to bring them in alive. If I find myself left with no options...
Do what you must, Gorev. They deserve to die slowly. As long as the leak is plugged, I will be satisfied.
William Peck, personal notes. Arrived in the Ural Mountain outbreak zone 3 days ago. It was a little hard to believe the briefing I was given on the flight here. But now that I see it for myself... To paraphrase Archimedes, holy shit. This is even better than I hoped for. The breach opening right on top of an installation like this may have given me the key to making an inversion warhead actually work. I'm a fucking genius. I already knew of the catalyzing effect Aetherium has on plutonium. That was how I got my portal chamber to work at Outpost 25. But the readings I'm getting from the crystals here, we've never seen Aetherium this pure, in the wild, so to speak. You, up there, be careful. That's not something you want to bang too hard. Understand? Yeah, they understand. These boys look scared out of their wits. Just wait till they hear the next item on my shopping list. We're gonna need some special helpers to make this work. Rounding them up will not be easy.
I just returned from the Kremlin, where I presented the list of proposed targets for Operatia Inversia to the General Secretary and select members of the Committee for State Security. The results were mixed. I should be pleased that the overall plan was so well received. Perhaps they realized that without bold action, the Soviet Union could collapse within a decade. And Inversia is nothing if not bold. It would be a death blow to the West, which may account for the committee's preference of two particular targets. But I pushed hard for Berlin. It would have afforded me further opportunities to complete my preparations there. The Colonel did question my fixation on Berlin, but I just told him I hate the Germans. That is always enough of an excuse for veterans of the Great Patriotic War like Kravchenko.
William Peck, supplemental notes. Well, it took a week and cost the lives of some brave young men, but we finally did it. We caught 4 of those floaty blue bastards alive. Okay, sure. By we, I mean the highly trained operators in Omega Group. I'm not exactly the field ops type. But they could never have locked down those lightning bugs without the gear I built for them. I mean, have you ever tried to cage something that can teleport? Now, one big help in this whole process is how attracted the blue guys are to the crystals. The big ones, the atmosphere converters. The purer the crystal, the more irresistible. I think that was the first tip-off that I could co-opt the way they metabolize Aetherium for my own purposes. Yeah, Sparky, I know it hurts, but you gotta take one for the team. We all serve a greater good now. And I promise, if Operatia Inversia stays on schedule, you won't be suffering for long.
Dr. Peck, do not speak. I have no stomach for excuses. Just listen. Outpost 25 has fallen. You failed me. Ever meet anyone else who failed me? And yet, they are all dead. However, we are receiving your research. That is the only reason I wouldn't overlook your transgression. But you will make it up to me. The Americans and their Requiem group pose a threat to our operations. You get one more chance to keep us ahead of them. One. And you will deliver. Now, forget about Requiem. Goryev will handle them. And their move. Personally. You will focus on your work. Give me something to show Moscow we are not wasting their resources. Kravchenko out.
Gorev to Peck. Hello, my American friend. I trust you find Mother Russia more hospitable than the jungles of Vietnam?
Hospitable? I've gone from sweating my ass off to freezing my nuts off, so...
It was a rhetorical question. I do not really care about your comfort. Only that you do not squander the second chance we have very generously given you.
Yes, of course. Believe me, got a lot to work with here.
Just keep Kravchenko informed of your progress. You may be top scientist, but it is you under microscope now. Fail him again, and you will be mining Ethereum crystals while Dr. Valentina takes your place. I think she would very much enjoy this.
With all due respect, Valentina can't even begin to understand the Dark Ether like I do.
See, that is point. No more secrets. No more hoarding information so you are only one with answers. Share what you know. Get everyone up to speed, as you like to say. Is your best move if you want to keep other eye.
I will do my best.
Oh, I know you will. Because if there is one thing you Americans love, it is a comeback story. This is your chance to make your friend Gorev proud. And I know you do want to make me proud. Hello, Pack. Remember how you allowed Spy to infiltrate your ranks at Outpost 25? Remember how this informant compromised our valuable research lead over Americans?
Look, I know I screwed up. But the mole's dead now, right? I mean, I'm the sole survivor from that whole Vietnam fiasco.
Fiasco. Such a colorful word. Almost sounds like fun. You know what is not fun? That we still have massive fucking intelligence leak thanks to your not dead mole whom Kravchenko once taken alive.
Alive, huh? Oh, he must have plans for the poor schmuck.
You will be schmuck if we do not figure out who it is. So, put big brain to work and contact me immediately if you identify the son of bitch. Am I clear? Crystal. Beck, Gorev here. Bad news, little man. My scouts confirmed that Requiem is now conducting operations in the Ural Mountains Breach Zone.
How is that even possible?
They are desperate, but we cannot risk them finding out about your current project.
Are you saying I should lay low somewhere?
So brave. No, Peck. Operatia Inversia is to remain your priority. The Colonel already mentioned it to Kremlin. Do not make him look bad. Just have your people keep their eyes open. Report any signings of Requiem, but do not engage.